Let's get tussling, rolling through the streets again. Without embellishment, how am I gonna sell my shit? Cause I'm a dog, need a bush to pee upon. Whole milk through your nose, call me Theo Vaughn.
I gotta tell you, man, it's really growing on me every time.
What's up, Steven?
I'm just excited to be here, man.
Welcome to people.
Welcome, people. Wednesday, 2:00-something.
It's 2:05.
2:00-something. You know, we're in and about
2-ish.
2 o'clock. Mandy likes it. We're right on time all the time. Parkway Automotive Studios.
Peach
Right
Podcast
here.
Syndicate.
Yeah, we're doing the thing here live that we do on YouTube. Got Mandy in the house. Isaac with no camera representation of himself. He had some other things to do, so he decided to stay off camera today.
Long drive.
He's not even really here. He's just like a hologram.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I left my body somewhere in the middle of Georgia.
Yeah, that's fun.
Lots of cotton fields.
Welcome
My soul is still wandering.
That's where you gotta go, man. You gotta find your place out there.
Yeah, Mandy here.
Yeah, I said that.
I was just reiterating.
3 weeks.
I'm rotating through the cameras.
3 weeks. 21
There's a lot
days.
going on over here, man.
I know. That's just how we do it. Yeah, so Peach Podcast Syndicate, Parkway Automotive Studios. I guess you need to think Must Grow Trial Firm. What's the number, Mandy? You don't know? 678.
We got it up on the wall.
1994.
Perfect.
678-226-1994. It's raining outside, man. A little bit on the roads. It's wet. If you're anywhere in the state of Georgia, you get into an automotive accident,
Call buddy.
call buddy. Look, you need somebody that'll advocate for you. You need somebody that knows the rules, ins and out of how to get like you taken care of and protected. And that's what he'll do. And he'll tell you honestly if he can help you out. And that's how it goes. You don't have to pay anything for a consultation. So if you need anything, just give him a call. 678-226-1994. It's Must Grow Trial Firm.
You're becoming a pro at that.
I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to flex a lot of these different skills, trying to, a lot of the books that I read kind of talk about stacking up all the skills that you develop through your interests and hobbies or whatever, and try to turn them into like payable jobs, I guess, or whatever. I like to talk. I like to talk about a bunch of different things. And if people are interested in it, and if it's coming off, and doing quality work, then why not keep doing it instead of, I don't know, anything else that I don't want to do, That's just the way I see it. Other announcements, I guess, this Saturday, September 11th, 10 a.m. to 12 Central Time, I'll be in Wetumpka.
Wetumpka.
Yeah.
Wetumpka.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get all those letters in there.
I think that's the thing we gotta do now. Just walk around and get everybody just to say the word without telling them. We'll just show them that. Say what this is.
My favorite time ever was when I took my college roommate that was from England through Alabama, and he was trying to read all the names off the signs.
It's interesting, right? Because we say things way different than a lot of people do. But Wetumpka at McCormick's Academy of Combat Sports, Max. Really excited about it. He's a buddy of mine. We've kind of been in touch with each other through the internet for a while. He's a fellow large man, but he's much larger than myself. And
he's a big man. I rolled with him the other night.
Yeah,
he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, super nice dude too. And so finally now got an opportunity, going to go over there, throw down some techniques for them. September 11th. That's this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're somebody told Mandy, they're like, man, you guys are gone a lot, and it's like, yeah, we are, right? I'm working though, what I mean? Like I get to go places and do stuff, but there's always like work attached to that. So it's not always just vacation stuff.
Yeah, but they don't see that. They just
Right.
see
That's what I'm
the
saying
fun
though.
stuff.
But that's what I mean though. It's all kind of fun to me though. The work that I do a lot of times is fun.
That's how we did it growing up. Like dad would have a business trip and mom would take the kids and we would go to a museum or whatever. Well, dad did all his meetings, and then that evening we'd hang out with dad, like in whatever town we were in.
Whatever you're doing. Yeah, we got
It's a good way to experience the world.
Our two got to get a little bit older for a lot of that stuff to still be super doable. You know what I mean? It's hard to get both of them wrangled up and traveling, especially on these little short trips that are like real quick.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough, but
they're still young.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we're still working on that as a whole. We do take them.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy
And
hotels.
Thomas is going to come with me Saturday. He'll ride.
Down to Wetumpka.
Yeah, he'll be with me for sure.
Cool.
he likes to do stuff like that. So I like to include him. And Charlie will too. Pretty soon she could probably come and stay some too if she wants to. But she's doing her own thing now.
She's soccer on Saturday.
She's doing soccer and gymnastics.
I saw her little soccer outfit.
She's out here stunting on people.
Number
one defender at the very least, just like aggressive probably. She's
overly aggressive for
nobody
6 and under soccer.
For sure, nobody's gonna win if I can't win.
That slide tackle is on point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So speaking of, I guess some of that stuff, man, we spent the long weekend, I guess, Friday to we got back
Monday night or Monday.
Sometime Monday. We left early from San Diego time, but got here. We time traveled through the future and got over back to Georgia and lost 3 hours somewhere.
Time change is terrible. Yeah.
I mean, when the earth is flat,
it's all relative. Yeah. I didn't see anything that made me think otherwise while I was sleeping on the flight back.
You woke up in the same place.
Stay woke. I mean, I was in the same place I fell asleep at in my mind. Like I was
in the same seat.
You know what I mean? But yeah, we went to San Diego. Friday night we got to go train.
Friday was rough.
What was the room like? I got the text, but what was the room like?
It was a sauna. It's an actual sauna.
He actually, they
thought it was a dry heat out there.
No. I mean, well, yeah, but he has heat lamps.
I guess it's like that's the thing. I guess some people here would definitely say it's a dry heat compared to here,
right?
But I don't think it's fully like. Well, it's not humidity free at all. You know what I mean? Well,
yeah, but that's on the outside. Like if you're specifically talking about in the gym Friday night, it was thick.
Well, yeah, because he rolled down the doors and then turned on the new heaters that he somehow equipped between the time I was there and was out. And so,
heat lamps, like you're.
Was he just excited to show off his new heat lamps?
Like a hot dog twirler where it just stays warm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's something that he's done a few times, kind of, but then I think it was like brought in sort of necessity wise during the cold times a little bit when they were having to do the open door training with the open air stuff and it was kind of cold out there some.
Because people don't realize that actually does get cold in California. Or it stays cold. I didn't realize that.
It stays cold for the most part.
I've been cold every time I've gone.
You get warm sometimes and it gets hot for like.
I travel with a hoodie every time I go out west.
San Diego, rather. I can't speak about like there's some places in California that's probably like.
Well, but also there's 6 a.m. classes. It's still pretty dark, so it's still cold.
Super
like Boogie cool. said, Boogie said that's definitely the class that they use it with mostly.
And I remember going in there some mornings and you got socks and shit on trying to roll, and it's really hard.
There's nothing worse than cold rolling. Like
and so like I could understand the necessity of it, but then it was just like, hey, let's just go ahead and like crank it up to like I guess David Goggins type stuff. It's just like we're gonna do
Pain Cave,
some really hard jiu-jitsu stuff, but then we're also gonna put you in a rotisserie. You know,
it was definitely a rotisserie.
I mean, that kind of sounds fun to me.
I mean, there's a level of it that I think if I was prepared for that, you know, if I had that expectation, it would have been not as bad. But the fact that I didn't even know that they had done these heaters or whatever, not that I cared.
It was all a surprise.
And then I expected Wu-Tang, right? And so I was like, all right.
What is Wu-Tang for the listeners? What is
Wu-Tang is for the children.
Yeah.
No, Wu-Tang started, I don't know if several years ago at this point, honestly, as a Friday night competition style class where we do 3-minute rounds and then you just do a fresh person like every 3 minutes with like 10 seconds of rest.
He switched it up this time and added wrestling.
Yeah, and so it's just
that sounds terrible
for like 15 rounds or something, like 45 minutes or an hour, depending on how he feel. With the heaters on, he was nice to us and only did it for 15 rounds.
He's a gracious guy.
Very gracious. Thank you, Richie, for only making us do 15 heated rounds. Like people do hot yoga. Like this was hot jujitsu stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
I enjoy that.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like there's
I get it. I get why you wouldn't.
There's an element of it.
I think it's the element of surprise too, though. Like you expect it to go to Wu-Tang. You're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go back to back. But then it's like, so you're like mentally prepared for, well, that's gonna be a lot, and then you just like, hey, let's put a heater in the mix. And it just completely. And the wrestling too was different.
We left Atlanta at 6 a.m. this was at 6:30 start time San Diego, which is
Yeah.
9:30 over here.
Right.
So we had done
So you're at the tail end of a 10-hour
around.
travel day. I get why
like,
it would be
it's a bunch of
appealing.
things. There's no, it's whatever. It's an experience.
It was fun for sure.
The thing that made it different too was then that they're getting ready for No-Gi World. He's trying to get people prepped. And
Right.
it's not unusual for him when you're getting ready for competitions on these competition nights to do something crazy. Like in the middle of the rounds, like sometimes when you're switching, you'll be doing burpees or you'll have to do whatever kind of something
to make it suck just a little bit more.
Just more work.
Yeah.
Well, this time he decided that it was going to be one round of jiu-jitsu for 3 minutes, and then the next round was wrestling. And so each round alternated. And then, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do all right. I'm going through it pretty well, picking decent partners that were working. I'm getting tired, obviously, about 5 rounds deep, 6 rounds deep, or something like that. And then he comes over and is like, hey, Boogie's like, I'll do a round with you. This is jiu-jitsu round. It's like, all right, cool. Tough round, obviously, like it always is with him. And he does his rubber guard stuff. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. And then he scolds me for not doing better. And it's
always
like,
the learner.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the next round is this guy, Alex, who's like the next guy that's coming up probably as the heavyweight. He's a really strong wrestler and a purple belt. And so we did like a wrestling round. And then halfway through that round, I was just like, bro, I think I'm about to throw up on you. Give me just a second. So I just like ran out real quick and like got some fresh air in the other room, put some water on my face, and kind of came back in as that round was finishing, and then did a jiu-jitsu round. And just like from then on, it was just kind of like in a daze.
Yeah, it was a blur. Once you hit that peak, that halfway mark, the rest of it just went.
And so that's the thing. You hit
it's like the blackout curve of the night.
Let's say that I know what I'm getting into, but I'm not prepared for this.
Right.
Once it happens. And so then I go out there, do a couple of rounds, and then I feel super guilty because I know this guy was probably really wanting to like get some work in with me or whatever, because I know that
wasn't he somebody that from your past?
He's a blue belt from before that we trained. We roll pretty.
Might be trying to get a few shots back in.
He might as well, right? He's improved a ton and he's working really hard. So
catch the aging warrior on his way out. Yeah,
hey, this is the way, right? You got to go out here, and we're in that class too. It's like it's not where it's like
no, that's where you're supposed to do
exactly.
this.
Yeah, I showed up,
shoot him, kill him.
I showed up
class for that. Yeah.
And so he put it on me, and then I tried to give him another wrestling round, and then he was kind of nice to me a little bit, and I was just like, Jesus, just like shoot me in the head, please. Just get it over. But there was no way to end. This is the thing. When you're doing rounds like that, if you get like just tired and you're wrestling, and the wrestling is not like wrestling to pin or wrestling to no mat wrestling, it's like just to the takedown, and then you get right back up.
I get out wrestled by like teenagers,
but there's no end though.
Yeah,
there's no end.
Oh yeah, it never stops.
There's no way to like get out of it. There's no rest spots if the other guys.
You just have to wrestle
if he's on you, right, or whatever. And so then in comes Teresa, this 105-pound purple belt lady who's super nice and friendly. She used to do our meal prep stuff for us. She's like a chef too. And so, and just really friendly or whatever. And she's like, you want to wrestle one round? And it's like, I'm like, yeah, cool, fine. This will be
a rest round.
Yeah.
No, she is a wrestler. I'm not sure why you thought that.
I just thought she was going to be nice to me.
She was not. I have video.
It's on video. Yeah. We haven't released the footage yet.
Oh, okay. That may be behind the paywall on the Kajabi.
It's just more
watch Steven die under
like I didn't even get, that's the problem. Is like I couldn't even get on, like there was no way to beat her. I couldn't even, like I could not get low enough to like stop her level change. And then once she got on my leg, it's like I'm just tired.
It's like shaking off a dog.
I can't though. Like you can't get her off.
It's true.
It's a new, not a new experience, but it's an old new experience again to have that coming up again. Because I'm not in there throwing down every day like that for an hour straight in that sauna.
You get kind of blind to it too once you get in it deep. Like you don't. I know going with the time that I spend going up there to Decatur, sometimes you'll meet the like white belts or the people that like this is all they know. This is jiu-jitsu to them, and you're like, you don't realize that this isn't how it is everywhere. So do you think that like maybe in San Diego you get that of like guys don't even realize where they are, or do they realize it?
I was just thinking that too, coming from our small gym and going there, the size difference or the ability of people on the mat is so vast. Deeper, like at the end, for sure. Like at the end, they make everyone line up by rank, and it just fills up the whole mat. And like one side is like 10 10 brown belts over there. You have the 6 black belts sitting in the front. You have a slew of purple belts, like 10 or 15, and then you have all your blue belts, like probably like 15 or 20, and then like 20 or 30 white belts. I mean, just
That's
like
interesting. Yeah,
like the level and just the ability of everybody on the mat is just so like
fast.
Yeah, it's
you can
insane.
get a bunch of different roles.
Yeah, you can get a bunch of different looks.
Yeah, you could get like 3 college wrestler looks. You could get the
well, there's hobbyists,
bendy guy, the hobbyist
that show up to the hard classes, and then there's guys that are trying to make themselves a world champion one day, all on the same mat. And so so it was really fun, but also like that was very tough, like class to get through, or training session to kind of get through, just mentally. Even once it got going, it's just like whatever. At this point, I'm just gonna take my ass whooping if I have to. Basically, I was fine in all the jiu-jitsu rounds because I know I can do enough, like control and like when I can get sweeps and different things like that. But wrestling, straight wrestling, it felt like I kept getting somebody that was like a wrestler, even if they weren't my size or rank or whatever kind of stuff. It was like, oh, you actually wrestled before. Yeah. It's like,
oh, you actually wrestled all the way through college. Yeah.
Get a white belt that does not wrestle, please.
The guy that started 3 months ago.
I grabbed this white belt dude, and it's like, all right, here we go. And he's like, no, I wrestled my whole life.
I started when I was 6.
Well, and they all on this particular class, they wear ranked rash
Oh
guards.
yeah, this is new development.
So it's you know what.
Oh, what you're biting off.
You think you're if you get a white belt who's a great wrestler, they're still just a white belt.
You get a degree.
On paper.
If we were doing a jiu-jitsu round, it wouldn't have mattered. He could have taken me down, then I probably would have did jiu-jitsu.
Could play,
and it would have been harder maybe, but then his level of wrestling would have went, a little bit out of the window to a degree. If he has done
he can pin you down.
If he has done no jiu-jitsu though, really, it's not really going to work.
But the wrestling round was get the takedown and get right back up.
Just like
jump right back up.
Like catch and release wrestling, literally. Like as soon as somebody hits the floor, you're supposed to pop back up.
You're supposed to fire off as many takedowns as you can.
Yeah, and just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the modes for the live training nights over there is like just don't stop. Like you can't stop. If you stop, you're out. Like out. Yeah,
no rest round. You can't rest and hop back in. If you're
like,
done, you're done.
If 2 people are out at the same time, they both have to do like 100 burpees.
Oh Lord.
Or if you didn't wear the right rash guard.
That's a new rule. That used to not be a rule. But this is for competition night. And he's like, so it is to make it, and it made sense when he explained it this way a lot more. For you to prep like you're going for competition. Like if you're going to go compete somewhere,
have all your stuff,
have your colors on that you're supposed to be.
Don't be the guy standing there at the mat like, oh, I forgot.
Exactly. And I was like,
okay.
All right, then. I guess
some people need that structure because they never got it.
Right. I guess and that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, I get it.
Like they literally, you either had to do 100 burpees during the warm-ups, or you had to turn your rash guard inside out to make it a white belt rash guard, basically.
Yeah. Here's a white belt because you forgot your belt.
Yeah.
I get it. And I mean, you're talking about a big room, a deep, like a lot of people, and in a city,
some odd people probably.
In a city that size, I mean, you were in the MMA scene while you were out there. How many dudes come in and they're like, I'm gonna be a world champion? And so sometimes I would imagine in when you're playing the numbers game there, you got to put a little bit of restriction on the guys that are going to be true champions if you're going to breed a team. Like you got to put restrictions on it.
There's elements of all that stuff that makes sense when you think it through. For structure purposes and for overall team building purposes or whatever. Because we for a long time didn't do that lineup. I don't think either as much.
Not that rank lineup.
We normally do a lineup for the picture or whatever, but they would never do like a lineup. And then this another thing is like, I guess when I was there, mostly there wasn't enough black belts there all the time. But before, we were still like standing up on the wall. And I was mostly a brown belt too, so it's kind of the same thing. But even then, I was still kind of one of either the first or second guys because there wasn't but like one or other black belt besides Boogie sometimes, a lot of times. And then now they like come out there and sit down beside Richie or whatever, and he talks a little bit while everybody's sitting around. And then he's like, lets all the black belts say something, and it's like, oh shit! Nobody told me I was gonna have to do like a speaking.
I don't have to talk.
Speech.
Right, not like right after that.
Right,
is exhausting.
I have the video. Steven is visibly dying. Boogie's like going on and on and on, and Steven's like, I just need like oxygen in my lungs, and then Boogie's like, and here's Steven, and Steven's like, Oh, okay. Words. I need words. I just need air right now. I don't need words.
That was cool, man. It's a nice sloppy mess right up under me when I got up.
Oh yeah, it was disgusting.
And then
real life though.
It was fun, man. I had a good time. I recovered well. I'm not in as bad a shape as I thought, but I did not do well with the heater part. Like without the heater, I would have been okay. But I definitely got like stifled by the not breathing part, because it's not the same thing as like it's not the same thing as like it was in Decatur.
Well, it's not the same as being hot in the air. It's like
not,
these little units of heat, like little.
Like if you were somewhere when the lighting was just too hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? Something like that. So cool, but
I think I felt that in MMA before.
Spartan culture, kind of stuff like that. Trying to breed that kind of really warrior culture within some of the competition team, which is good and it's important. If you're trying to be a world champion, you need to kind of throw yourself into that fire and do your like vision quest and stuff like that through.
Some people need that to pull that out of them.
Like a lot of people need that at some point just to understand where you can go. You have to be able to go to some degree.
Yeah.
But I think you can probably get that in a cool room. You just got to work a lot harder. It just takes a lot more work for sure.
I think it's definitely a shortcut. Yeah.
I mean, it's a different thing. Like
maybe, yeah,
it is. It's kind of you're somewhat maybe hacking the system in a way to make it artificially something else.
It's like elevation training or something. Like you
but like elevation training has real beneficial.
Oh, for sure.
How beneficial is that?
How beneficial?
After you come back down for
that's the debate is like, where do you do it?
So
do you do it in recovery? Do you do it?
Yeah. So then in a heated room or whatever, what level of training?
When's the time to do it? Yeah.
Is it a 45-minute class? Because that's not that long. Is it a 30-minute class of that hard training that makes it where that's not that bad before people are actually pushing past their like true limit of like healthy capacity? Like a lot of the people went through.
I think part of it is too just being able to perform what it is that you're trying to perform under an extreme, excruciating.
That's it. And so that's the thing is that there's an element of it.
You'll never actually be in this situation.
How often?
You'll never be in hell doing jiu-jitsu.
You're never going to be just grappling Satan himself.
How often should you put yourself in those situations, though? I guess is the thing. Like I don't know. I get it because I've done it before, man. We've trained in a room where it's 100 degrees beside the mat. And there's no relief, there's no fans that you had a gi on.
Oh, you had a gi on it. The dude's opening his gi and like
which may make it kind of some degrees like cooler once you get sweaty enough. It's because you got enough like moisture on you still.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to
except for the oven thing, but I don't know.
I was listening to Scaff's latest podcast with Barncat or whatever, and he was talking about that when he was first starting in jiu-jitsu, that a gi school told him that they didn't do no gi because the gi protected against staff.
Yeah,
he's like,
I'm not sure.
You might want to rethink that one.
But then, so after that, we did Saturday. I had a seminar there, which is, dude, it's so crazy. 60 something, maybe 70 people showed up.
That was a big crowd,
and it was really fun. There was levels like black belts and all the way down to like pretty new. Like one guy just signed up for the school that day and just came on into the seminar. It was donation based, so he was just like, all right, I'll throw in some cash and come on in. So his first like class was my seminar or whatever.
What'd you teach?
I taught passing from like lockdown and half guard into the head and arm series or whatever stuff. It's kind of something I guess that since the PGF, I've really been definitely honing in on more, but I guess it's been something that I've been working on since. And I realized that I guess while I was sitting in the seminar, talking to some people, like I've really been working on it since the Ultimate Mat Warriors tournament when I was a brown belt, because I tapped the guy out with that doubles underpass, the dominator pass, just with the shoulder pressure.
Just the pressure, yeah.
And so one of the things that like, it's cool about it that now is a good like joke I can use and stuff, a story. Like I legitimately was mad when he tapped because I was about to stunt on him in my mind. He was like I felt him wilting and I was like,
cool thing.
Oh, I'm about to get the cool thing on him. But then he just tapped to the pressure and I was just like salty. And so then it took me a little while to think it through or whatever, but then I just made him give up with my guard pass, which I thought later, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I feel differently about that specific pass now. And again, we saw my success rate in the PGF once I was able to get to those spots, And so then I really just kind of thought through what am I doing that's different maybe than other people, or just what am I doing in general. And so I wanted to kind of lay down the path that I use a lot of times to pass half guard, which, like some of the order of operations stuff that I like to use. And then the differences in the head and arm system that I'm using now versus the system I would have used before. And I think the way that other people are kind of looking to finish it, even like people that are better than me or whatever. Like I know other people finish it differently, and that's fine. I have no problem with the way they finish it, but some people don't agree with finishing it the way I like to, and that's okay. I don't care. I've seen a lot of success with it. And
what's the disagreements?
It's not really like a disagreement per se, but it's just like
a preference.
And I think that's what everything is, right? Some people turn things like that into a disagreement and want to like pick a hill to die on about a technique. And I'm all right with not having to do that. I know what I like, and I know what I'm kind of been successful with and what levels I've been successful with it at. So I'm pretty confident in knowing yes and no on a lot of the stuff that I know, especially my own personal game. Like there's, you know what I mean? There's a lot of jiu-jitsu that I understand that I can still defer to someone else because they have more experience, like in competition or going live with that kind of stuff, even though it's something I can really understand. But then like that head and arm play and passing half guard, I don't know if a lot of people have spent as much time doing that as I have, to be honest, because of all the background in MMA and different things like that I've had. Because in MMA, when you're on top, at least before, for sure, you would want to get in half guard and just kind of control that position. And then you could beat people up from there and then pass if you had to. So I have a good like
base
and bunch of controls that I've learned, like that I don't think like I said, I don't think maybe a lot of people haven't had to think through or didn't want to maybe think through because they would use other stuff than what I chose to use. And so I think that's why I can shut down a lot of people's half guards, because I've been in a bunch of half guards over the years. And so I have a bunch of ways out because I've been beat a bunch of ways too. And so I know what you're going to do before you do it a lot.
Especially like in that,
especially in half guard.
Yeah. And in an MMA situation, a guy playing half guard's like either really good at it or he's desperately doing something.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. We're getting either frantic or we're going to get like back.
So controlling that
it was really popular at heavyweight back in the day with Nogueira. Everybody's using deep half and different things like that. So like if you understand how to beat that, you can understand how to beat the lockdown pretty well once you understand how to unweave the lockdown and different things like that, because it is different. Like there's differences, but everything's the same, kind of deal. Triangles are just triangles, or it's like a half a square.
So what'd the room get out of it? What'd you think, Mandy?
Half a square.
It is, right?
What?
No, I just never heard that.
Half a square.
Yeah.
He said the triangle is a triangle. It's just a half a square.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's half a square.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight up.
You cut a square in half, you get a triangle. Yeah. I understand it.
Nobody ever told me that. I just thought about like
geometry.
I'm getting good at this shit.
We're doing lots of math things on here, people.
Listen, man, you got to stack these skills up. And I used to be a math nerd when I was a kid.
You were a math nerd?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wasn't.
It's kind of funny too.
Steven loved Around the World.
I was the gold star. I love getting gold stars. And I talked about this in one of my coaching groups that I'm in the other day. I was definitely like very externally motivated by getting like gold stars and stuff. And I realized like math and like history trivia and stuff like that, I've always been really, really, really good at that stuff. For some reason, I can just remember random stuff and math facts, like multiplication tables for sure. Any of the tens.
We had the same third grade teacher, and so she played the same game, even though we're like
she remembers me.
We're 6 years apart in school, but we had the same third grade teacher. So we like vividly remember the same game, obviously just two different time periods. But it's like you go around the classroom and it's called Around the World, and you go head to head with your classmate on math facts or whatever. Like it's like 10 times 6, 6 times 7, 5 times 5. Like you're just boom, 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 and whoever yelled it or screamed it first, you won. And that's like Steven's
gold star. Everybody else would have like 3 to 5 stars, and I would have like 35 stars. Like it would legit, like they would have to make me let other people play through And like this was third grade.
Bro, I was the kid that they were like, let Isaac play.
Right, that's fine. Like this, but
he was out in the second round.
But for me, as a kid, that wasn't really like an athletic star. I wasn't really doing anything else. I didn't really have any other connections to the community and stuff like that. Being smart was like always my thing. Like that was always easy for me. It was easy for me to kind of always be smart compared to some other people in a lot of ways. And I didn't know that it was, I don't know if it was intentional, but just like I said, I could remember multiplication facts like crazy, like just crazy. And then like I was doing quiz bowl and stuff like that as like a young kid like that. And it got to the point that they gave us like fact sheets with like hundreds and hundreds or thousands of questions almost. And I would almost be able to finish the question that they were asking and know the answer by the time we were getting a couple weeks into it, because I had already ran through it. I was just out on this freaking dirt road in the country with no satellite TV, no internet, bunch of chickens and stuff like that. So
bunch of chickens.
I mean, really, that's all I had. So what I just never like back then, I never thought anything about it. I just was kind of remembering stuff because it was fun. Right. It got me out of class, stuff like that. You know, it got me like some special privileges. You know, so it's just fun, stuff like that. So yeah, I did the seminar on the head and arm stuff. Bunch of different people, bunch of different skill sets, weight classes, and different things like that.
Skill set for sure, because to teach what you started out was to escape in lockdown, and some people didn't have their lockdown. So she was like, "Oh, okay, let me reverse here because I'm teaching you how to escape lockdown. But if your lockdown's
if you already have a trash lockdown, then
you can skip this first part.
The escape is completely wrong.
Well, if they don't do the first part, then you just if they don't do the lockdown, then you can skip the first part of the lesson."
I think that comes from the recent time that you spent teaching this room that you have, is because you have a lot, you've had a lot of guys that you brought up from day one.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like you can really identify that 1-1.
Mm-hmm. And so then again too, it was nice. Like there was like really small people, women too, that asked some questions, and it was nice to like, you know, talk through the way that I want the body positioning to be versus what still people, you know, are kind of trying to do. And it worked when they weren't like big, strong, heavyweight people. That always makes me feel nice when something that I teach works for somebody that's somebody small, and their partner's like, oh my God, when they finally, like when the other person finally hits it, they're like, oh, and it's like, all right, that's what we want every time right there. And then you see the little person being like, I've never been able to like make somebody exhale that way.
Do anything. Yeah.
And it's like, all right, it's true.
I've never felt strong.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like that's the true power, right? Of course I can like be strong on people sometimes, but then this is what I say is like, and this was an argument I used to have too, like pound for pound or whatever that is. All things are equal, but then still, like we said before, even within weight classes, there's different attributes. So it's not really always about pound for pound as much as it is like attribute based.
What can your body do?
Yeah, what can length or whatever and stuff like that too. Like, are you super tiny or are you super big and bulky and strong or whatever? So yeah, it was pretty fun. We got to go through that. Mandy got her blue belt at the end of it.
Yay! I didn't have I was gonna have it queued up.
He wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for all the.
I was still gonna wait. Yeah, do it now.
You know. Let's just do a couple steps.
Oh shoot! Why don't you just talk about getting your blue belt?
Yeah. Oh, my blue belt.
Yeah, your blue belt speech.
My bad. Speech.
That's basically her whole speech right there that she had to.
That was it. I was not prepared for a speech.
She didn't expect it.
No. Yeah, I was outside and Boogie brought me inside. I was like, Steven wants you to record the end of his seminar. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I can do that. That's no big deal. So I come in and have the gimbal or whatever I'm recording. He does his little jokes, his wrap up. Follow me in the Dream 10P. Reach out. Hey.
Why you got to be saying it like
that? Wait, those are jokes? No. Those are his jokes.
He was telling his jokes and his wrap up.
His wrap up. It's
now the Mandy show.
Steven's out.
No, it's so he's doing all that. So I'm holding the gimbal or whatever. And then I was really frustrated with the camera because it kept like catching a reflection. So I really wasn't paying attention to his actual words.
She wasn't listening to you.
Well, I was trying to get, I'm trying to get a good visual.
I was trying not to cry.
I was trying to get a good visual so that he wouldn't be upset. He's like, man, you got a crappy video. So I'm like trying to change the lighting on this thing. And then all of a sudden, like I start to like hear my name. I'm like, oh, okay, let me just pay attention.
He's talking about me.
Yeah. Hey, that's me. And then it just comes up. And then I guess Boogie had it wrapped around his waist. I didn't realize that until I watched the video back. He like pulled it out from behind him. He like actually had it on. So it was really cool. But it's weird, like, or not weird, but like I was saying earlier about the size of the room, like that's a lot of people looking at you. Like that's a lot, like to take on emotionally. Just to look, like when you turn around, there's like, I don't know, there's like what 60 or 70 people that day. Yeah, I mean,
I just told the story, you know, like of Mandy's story, you know, and it is wild though, you know,
yeah.
Like, cause you look around the room, she's trained longer than probably everybody in our gym, maybe except for maybe Taylor or somebody. Realistically,
oh, you mean in our gym?
Yeah, our gym. Yeah. You know, she's been with me for 12 years, I guess, something ish.
2009, yeah, 12 years.
So
almost 13.
Yeah, and so hasn't trained always, but has been around and trained and dabbled or whatever. And then again, like I said, there several times, even especially while we were in San Diego, she was the one damn working and making the money that was providing the opportunity for me to be in the gym, training and learning and building my skill set up. That's allowed us to be in this point. So it's not been just, that's what I'm saying. It's not been just me. So that's why I definitely try to make sure that I don't allow anybody to overlook her contribution to the overall thing as much as I can, you know, not get lost in what I've done. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't, definitely a lot of what I did wouldn't have been possible without her. Maybe I could have did some of it in another way, but it definitely wouldn't have happened the way it has. You know what I mean? And so she quit training when she got pregnant with Thomas. Like she was really pregnant at that point. Like pretty, I don't know, a few months in. I don't know how long it was.
I was to say, what's really pregnant?
Like, you know,
I always thought
she like super showing,
so,
like belly showing.
I had gotten my green belt before I got pregnant with Thomas.
Right. Like and from Rush at ATT. So they had the green belts right before blue belts. But she'd again been training for quite a long time, you know. So it was like circumstance, basically. I was never going to promote her because I wasn't the person that was going to be promoting. I never promoted anybody.
Well, and I never took Steven's class ever, like in any other gyms except for in Valdosta.
She didn't like me because I told jokes like my jujitsu is good and you should listen to what I say. She's like, that's a funny joke. Listen to what you say.
Follow me on Instagram. That's a funny joke.
Was not the joke.
You have such good jokes. It's like you
like and follow, subscribe. LOL.
No, he went back and watched his video and he made a joke and he laughed. He's like, see, now I can do stand up. And I was like,
that's what some kid told me. A kid told me that.
Is that the same thing?
It's not the same thing, but it is the same thing.
He made a jiu-jitsu room laugh. So
I mean, I did, but you just got to get them focused. And like, once they're captive, you can start, you know, once you know what you're doing, you can start like figuring it out. It's not, I don't
catch
think it's
Steven
like
live next weekend at Rigby's and open mic night.
Rigby's.
That's here.
That's the only place I've seen.
I was like, "Where's Rigby's?" It's like, what is that?
They have a bar.
They have like an open mic night or something.
They do, like a stage. And then they have comedy shows that come through or whatever too.
We seem to be out of town.
Easy. Obviously, it's not easy, right? But I think if you're into that kind of stuff, then it's not impossible, you know, to do it. And I've gotten decent
your stand-up presence has done great.
Yes. When I have a focused audience, I can handle that, especially like a jiu-jitsu room or something like that too.
I think you'd be good at stand-up.
I think if I focus,
you'd have to apply the same work ethic that you've applied.
I'd have to figure out. I'd have to figure out my shtick and how.
This isn't the first time we've ever discussed it.
Oh, this has been a.
I mean, not for me though.
Oh,
I just kind of joke about it. I mean, I guess that's.
Sir, are you a comedian?
No, I just tell jokes.
No, I'm just funny.
No, I'm just a great guy.
I just talk, man. That's what I'm saying. I just like to talk, you know. And if it's funny to people, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I'm sure people think like, "Man, I wish that guy would shut the hell up."
Lucky for you, we're trying to make a show. Speaking of which, Wilo says that's a great ride or die, and hell yeah. And Mama Stack's in there, or Stack Mama's in there saying what's up. And
we don't have any of that stuff. Oh man,
no, I don't have it up on the TV. But yeah, I was just telling you that there were people over here saying,
"Hey, everybody, we love y'all."
Wilo saying,
"Thank you guys."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's other stuff going on too.
So yeah, we went to
PGF qualifiers Saturday. We got
That's
Isaac
Jacksonville.
going in for his 45th try
45
in a row.
Is it in Jacksonville this time?
Jacksonville.
Most improved throughout this whole process, definitely. Like that's a joke, but not really.
I think my game's come a long way.
It's a callback.
I think it's a callback to a joke earlier that I've been most improved my whole life. But I feel like I've improved.
I get it. Shut up.
No, I still have to try. Hey, I can tell Coach Bracknell I still have that trophy sitting on my desk. Nothing else is out of boxes in my office at my house right now, except for that trophy. It's sitting on my desk.
I mean, because that's the best thing, right? Always being improved. Most improved is good.
We got me, and then we got Seth jumping in.
Seth coming down from 250 to 170.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, he is though. Like looking.
And that's what this is about.
Beefcake. I've seen him out there.
I mean, Steven has a similar story or experience if you don't know exactly.
I just don't think I ever got that far down like he did. The lowest I ever got was like 202.
But you came from 380, not 250. So math. Remember math.
I know, but you know how it is.
I mean, that's 180 pounds. That's like a whole person. That's an entire Seth currently.
Yeah, that's another me right now.
That's so funny. That was a long time ago, though.
It's true, though. That's a whole Seth. You lost a whole Seth.
That's funny, though.
I'm going to try to meme that.
We got pictures to prove it. All the pictures.
That's funny.
But I mean, that's this PGF thing that I jumped into. The whole reason was to get myself back to where I could get back in the striking distance of MMA, like getting back in fight shape and getting back in that same feel. Like, so, I mean, what I set out to accomplish, that's there. So like everything else is going on. And I mean, the stuff you and I've created, the stuff that Brandon's working on up there, like, I think we're at the baby version of something that's huge anyways. So like just to be a part, I'm excited about it.
We're trying, we're putting a bunch of stuff together and we're going to see what works, and what works is going to work, and what doesn't work, we'll let go of and put some other stuff in its place that may work. And then once we figure out, that, then we're good to go.
But just
make it do. And then, so I'm excited for you guys to get on there and compete. I think you guys are both doing really well in your training. We've gotten a lot more like focused on things.
Sloan's coming next weekend.
And Sloan Clamor coming September the 18th.
Do not miss.
My buddy and friend.
For the people who don't know who Sloan is.
Give them a small intro.
A little schnapps.
Man,
the caveman.
Training partners in Temple and San Diego for basically the whole time I was there. He's one of the toughest guys in the room, legit, for me every day. And so we really pushed each other back and forth like you do for teammates to try to get better.
What was his background?
Barn wrestling.
Okay.
He grew up, his dad was one of the guys, I guess, back in that era that in Indiana that had like some mats in their garage.
That's all you had to say.
And lifted weights and different things. And so he was a kid and a teenager out there, like fighting MMA with grown men, basically.
Working on a farm during the day, fighting.
Some stuff like that, man. And so just
corn grown,
super tough, hardcore guy.
Corn fed.
Hard fed.
I was really close.
Like hard, really hard dude, but like a really, really like solid friend. Like if Sloan's your buddy, man, he's got your back. And if he says he's got your back, like he means that shit. And like more than anybody else means it too. Probably more than like you or I mean it if we say it too. Like he's like that kind of dude, like to his own detriment.
Right. I was about to say, you got to add that in part.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the kind of guy that would get himself in trouble to help
somebody out,
to make sure that somebody else knows that he's got their back and stuff like that.
Right.
So, throughout the time or whatever, he found his way over towards Keenan Cornelius's gym, and that's where he earned his black belt from. So he's a black belt under Keenan Cornelius.
AJJ.
He was a fight to win champion at brown belt before he got that at 185. He's got a really interesting like front headlock system, and I know some people like a lot of people have a lot of front headlock stuff, but he's got stuff that he does differently, and like it doesn't work on me. But
it's got a name.
Already started.
He's got
the caveman necktie.
Yeah, the
caveman necktie.
Yeah, because
Google it.
They call him the caveman. Okay. Yeah, it's really good stuff, man. It's just funny to have seen it develop from when it was just some stuff he was doing in the gym to where it's now something that's been produced, and you can buy it on jujitsux.com, which is like Keenan, I think, like BJJ Fanatics type site or whatever that is.
I used to know what it was. It's X. It's something. That's it.
That's what it just said.
That's it.
Yeah. It's 21 days.
Did you already say that?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a lot going on over here. Yeah. If people didn't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Your camera's
I'm just talking.
A little bit.
Continue.
Yeah, I just talk. yeah, so Sloan's coming. That's gonna be really fun. We have probably 10 spaces left for that, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of out of town
We've
people
mostly
have
like
sold.
our people are kind of sleeping on signing up, and I'm not getting like, you know how much space we have. Once we have 30, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to oversell it. I'm not going to make it uncomfortable. So don't like at me when you don't get this spot. If we sell these
Friday
other 10,
night,
if it's literally a full gym of like the 3 or 4 people from our gym that signed up, and then a bunch of other people, I'm still going to have a good time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But don't wait till day of is what
don't sleep. Yeah. Cause you're probably not going to get in.
I'm guilty of that.
You know,
I'm somebody
I think
that
a lot
needs
of people
to know.
are, but we have small space and we're not trying to like oversell it. It's not about a money grab as much.
Space.
We tried to make a good deal off of some stuff when Boogie came and we did 2 seminars, but then it just felt so rushed.
So big.
I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way that was.
It was pretty crowded.
We needed a bigger space to do something like that. And so I don't want to do that again while we're here. We'll wait until we have more space to do more people in there. So we'll keep it at like 30 and that's where we're going to stay. So if you want to get in on that, we have a link. That's probably all over my social media.
Instagram bio, I think.
There's a QR code and stuff. There's a lot of ways you can get in there and reserve your spot. And then CJJ Mexico.
That's right.
So
Y'all
fun.
did spend some time down there. How was that?
We walked across the border on Sunday.
You walked?
Yeah, we did that. We lived in San Diego for 4.5 years and never went to Tijuana. I guess a lot of people, I didn't realize, don't call it TJ.
Who is TJ?
What to Tijuana? But you just literally take the pedestrian bridge and you just like
make a left and a right.
We thought it was going to be so complicated. Like our friend like overly complicated it before we went. And they literally like barely looked at our passport. It was like,
where are you going? I'm going to watch some jiu-jitsu. It's like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Bye.
You're not sitting there being like, don't say terrorism. Don't say drug trafficking.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't say.
this show is going to be the bomb.
Well, they had some of the guards.
They were definitely strapped outside.
Massive
like,
guns.
Don't get it. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Don't let you think that you can run up in there and do whatever. Yes. But they did have some.
Do not test it. Is that you or is that me?
I believe it's her. Okay. If reach across and push the back of that mic. No, him. You. That one, yours. Push it once. There you go. Now talk.
Okay, there we go.
You should be good. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even touch it.
I think it's just loose.
Just loose. Okay.
Gotta do some work.
Yeah. So we literally and then coming back wasn't hard at all. We came back at like 9 o'clock at night.
Came back at the right time.
9 o'clock at night. And there was maybe I'd say 50 people in front of us. But when you get in, if you've ever come in to customs,
like most customs from
there's just the little cubes and they check your passport. How long were you here? What did you need? And you declaring anything? No. Okay,
what
bye.
You got with you?
It was like
I don't feel like that if I had been with y'all that I would make it through the border as well. I don't know. My mom's always worried when I travel. Yeah, I got a passport.
You got eyes. They'll get you in. They got all your
they
have all your biometric
they do your
data
eye
now.
scan. Yeah.
Wait, how do they already have that?
Ooh,
it's everywhere.
They do. If you got a passport and stuff, they got you, fam.
Yeah.
They know. They know who you are.
Like literally,
every time they see your facial features, you can have your mustache and your beard. You can do other things. The offset of your dimension of your faces and stuff. It's probably not 100%, but they definitely they know who you are when you come up there to that damn thing. When you just
right away.
Look into
they're like, pull your mask down, let me see your face. And she's like, okay, Amanda, that's you.
That's not weird.
Because I look nothing like my current passport. But
then you threw me off because you said Amanda, and I was like, who's Amanda?
And not to be too political or whatever about it, but then thinking about that while we were standing in line, that's like one of the things that people were upset about in Afghanistan, that the government gave the biometric data to the other people. And it's like, oh man, I didn't realize how powerful that can make.
Yeah, we were fighting against that a while ago. Jared, if you want anything to read about that, Jared Lanier is somebody who talks about.
That's interesting. It's like all that stuff's for another day, probably.
Oh, yeah. We'll have another podcast.
But CJJ was super Mexico, awesome to see in person. We got front row.
Stadium, like the stage was probably
it was huge,
40 by 40 square or something at least.
Oh, that's big.
It was
massive.
But
was it up on like a stage or like up on a?
Yeah, it was like a square with like a runway, that like a little short 10-foot maybe runway that walked out to it in the middle of like a
was the mat all the way to the edge?
Yeah.
Yep. It was all
you wanted to be.
And then they would stop you at like
they had a black border to be distinct.
There's like a runway.
There was a space to where it was like, all right, you're getting towards
you're in the hot zone.
And then he would start like moving you back in. And then people on the sides would start looking to maybe watch their back when guys would maybe come too close, but nobody did this time really. Except
it's not like certain promotions where you're just like, oh, there's the drop off.
Yeah, I mean, it was there.
Oh,
but the referee was doing his job.
If you had a good referee,
other people were doing, like it's Mike Beltran. So it was cool to be able to see like a really high level production being pulled off, and like I was trying to like eavesdrop a little bit how they were talking about what they were doing, and like seeing, you know, the way that the different people were doing different jobs at different, you know, spaces. And you know, it's probably like a 50 to 100K promotion to like pull off the show the way they did it, you know, I think.
Well, maybe not in TJ.
I mean, if you're talking about the type of film promotion and stuff that they're putting into it, yeah, like you're being
with the stage and the
right.
maps,
That's what I'm saying with Matt,
beautiful.
stage, lighting,
the announcers, you know what I mean.
And they're one of the few ones out there that are doing a really, really,
down.
really good job on their like promotions and everything. Yeah,
everybody had a super dope rash guard.
And just the media package. I mean, they
spend
have
a
all
lot
that.
of money on the media.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. You
like,
got to promote the heck out of something like that. And so it was in Tijuana, and it was really fun. It was really exciting because 3 of my teammates from San Diego were competing
in the super fights,
and they had super fights. Yeah, so it was like a Mexico tournament, which was going to get a spot.
The bracket
into
was
the middleweights.
All local.
They're all Mexican competitors, and the winner of this bracket gets a spot on October 3rd to the middleweights worlds.
Okay. It was like a qualifier.
Yeah, it was like a Mexico qualifier, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like we had the 10PQ. They had like a Mexico qualifier.
But they still got a really huge nice belt, even if
I mean it's a legit thing. You know what I mean? It's
tournament.
It's real.
It's not just
a national championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah. Not a little local tournament.
At the very least, there was guys from Cancun, TJ, and I'm sure I heard some other cities, but I don't remember the names of them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Big cities.
Yeah, sure. Huge cities.
Can you still be?
I don't know anything about Mexican cities, but they sounded familiar.
And then, but like, you know, being in there and seeing my teammates compete, and like we were across from the corner that the coaches were in, so I was just helping, like trying to relay the information as they were coming across. And one of the guys is like, I mean, they were my friends or whatever. One of them was for sure like one of my really good buddies from when we were training out there, Ronnie Labella, and he had a tough match. The guy was like putting some hands on him pretty well, and he was like not able to get his shot off. And then finally, like towards the end, man, he started like getting it. And there was a moment where I like was like shouting out some advice to him, and I could see that he like nodded a little bit and got it. And he came back over and was like, "Dude, thanks for like that."
You're talking about hanging the weight off the elbow.
His rubber guard or whatever, wherever he's at, he wasn't quite connecting. He was blowing his abs out, trying to like pull the guy in or whatever. And so it was just cool to be able to like just to sit there and be able to see that and say that, you know.
How weird is that type of communication where you can like say one phrase and you know he heard you?
Oh, because he switched it immediately.
Yeah,
immediately he switched
and
it.
that was really cool because we haven't trained together in years really, and just, you know, but he knew what I was saying in that moment, and so it helped. That's not how he got his finish, but it helped get him like a little bit of control. And dude, like honestly, once he got the finish, I haven't reacted like that way about a match or something in quite a while. You know, like to be honest with you, like I was legitimately like really, really hyped up about
the internet caught Steven in some memes.
Yeah. I mean, I was excited, man. You know, I enjoy this stuff. I do. I truly enjoy it, and going to it live, and especially when it's like a big stage and people are, you know, really competing hard for it.
And it's your homies.
And it's my homies. Yeah. Like it's not just like, oh man,
a guy.
The Braves are on TV, you know, Roll Tide. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't play there.
That's my boy. Yeah,
like it's my real friend. I played on the Freaks. I'm a Freaks alumni.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like for me, it's like, yeah, that's us. That's we.
Do you feel that for the rest of the team? Like when there's like younger guys that are coming up that you may not even know, but you just see the Freaks flag?
For 10 Planet in general, man. Like 10P for real.
Right.
Like in general.
I've noticed that.
But like San Diego, 10P San Diego, even specifically, even
like,
more than the Freaks.
Even more so than
like,
just,
of course, but like in 10th Planet, you know, all that stuff. But like these people are like people that I legitimately trained on the mats with. And they were in some of my classes sometimes, and we came up together. You know what I mean? So like it's just different than being like friends with somebody. It's like somebody that you really can relate to, that you've actually
you were in the trenches together,
and you really like saw each other a lot, back to back to back to back to back, you know, and you saw their progression and how they do it. So it was really cool to see the way that the jiu-jitsu level was there, who the winner was. He's already got some experience from the welterweights combat jiu-jitsu world, so it was no like huge surprise. He's from the gym that Brandon Moreno, the new 125 champion, is from. So yeah, it was a great experience to get to go to that and see him win, see my friends all win. We got to explore Tijuana a little bit. My friend Doug and
shout out to Doug's Bugs
in San Diego. I came up with that name.
It's pest control. He does.
He's a pest control company. He's my friend.
I assumed it was pest control, but I didn't want to.
Like he started it, and then he was like, he had this really like professional name that is like some kind of like executive services. No. He's like the FBI of fucking bugs.
Yeah, it was like you wouldn't have known it was a pest company if they were outside your.
He was trying.
Are you bodyguards?
But he was going to specifically be discreet for businesses. Like if you had like issues, he was going to try to pull
like
up.
Under the
people wouldn't see that it's a pest control company.
Okay,
but now he has a cartoon of a bug guy with the little backpack on spraying. So it's
he
like
was coming up with all those ideas, and we're just sitting in his like apartment one night back in there. I was like, "It's gonna be Doug's Bugs," and he's like, "Nah," but it is. And now he's got like a office that's off the like one of the main roads over there, kind of, and you can it's super fun, man. And he and his lady, she helped like explore around. We went to the beach in Tijuana. We saw the border, like the actual border. It only goes like 30 or 40 feet out.
It literally goes out into the ocean a little bit, and then there's nothing.
I mean, except for some border patrol agents on the other side.
I mean, I assume there's somebody right there.
I mean, did you expect an ice wall? What would you expect?
I don't know what I expected to go way further. I don't know.
I don't know what I expected. That's why it was cool to get to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
I expected it. I'm like, oh, I could swim that far, but then what's on the other side? I don't know. Obviously,
I mean,
imminent death. But
yeah, I mean, and I've never swam that much around there. I've been in the Pacific a couple times, but.
I mean, the ocean.
It was nice there.
It was very calm.
It was packed though. There's a lot of.
There was a ton of people
on the Tijuana
beach.
side. It was packed.
There was nobody on the American side.
Tijuana's like,
and it was really interesting though to see the border wall. They have some like murals painted on the border wall. I posted some of those on my story.
It's pretty cool.
Like, you know, again, despite what some people may think about some of the stuff, some of the stories about like the people who were like American soldiers that got sent back over to Mexico or whatever.
Deported.
That's like one of the murals that's on there when they got
all
deported back. It's got like all their names on it and talking about repatriation, stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff's powerful, man. You go to somewhere like that and you see that kind of stuff. It's like, damn, you know, like I'm not trying to pass judgment on anybody, but it's like, man, that'd be a hard choice to make, to do that to someone.
Well, that's a weird town too. Like, isn't there some stuff that straddles there's some business that straddles the border right there where you have like families and stuff that live
on both sides.
Like they work one side.
Yeah, our friends.
Well, a lot of people can go. That's the thing. Like a lot of people work across the border.
Right.
But then with COVID, if you didn't have a specific work visa,
you couldn't get through.
You can't cross the border if you're a Mexican citizen. United States citizens could, but not
still go
unless you had like a legit
essential reason.
Pass. Yeah.
So it's been weird for them. You know what I mean? I haven't been there, so I don't know. But yeah, so that was a really great experience, man. We're leading up into Costa Rica coming up in October too. I guess really quick, man, we got people dropping out because they didn't get passports or they didn't have like proper preparations.
Yeah, if you're going,
like ASAP.
If anybody wants to come, there's a spot available. It's $600. Just let me know if you want it.
Please have your passport.
Please, don't buy it if you don't want to come. But we have a couple. We actually have a couple of spots because people dropped out. But I'm just not really like stressing it necessarily. If we can find replacements, the tickets are transferable. So we got a couple spaces still for $600 that people are welcome to purchase, and then we'd pass some refunds on to the people who made the.
We have a great deal at the hotel down there.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I can't do a refund for people, and I know a couple people are upset, but it's like I'm sorry, but otherwise, like if somebody buys it, then I'll give you. You know, the money back, but the hotel gives you 25% off.
And that's where the jiu-jitsu, that's where the actual thing
is. That's where the camp's at.
Yeah,
we have a deal with Adobe rental car to get a discount on car rentals. We use
them every time.
Discounts with the surf company there to have a surfing tour. We got a discount with the waterfall tour company to get waterfall tours as a group.
Catamaran.
We're providing the catamaran tour on Friday.
A cruise.
That's
tour.
like basically, going out into the water. It's gonna be super fun, man.
Dream Show episode or season 2, right?
Season 2, man. And it's been a ton of like work and stress that I don't even want to tell everybody about, because it would make you think that I didn't enjoy making it all happen and take some of the damper out of it. But like, man, I guess what you would say, learned a lot through this process.
Yeah.
And getting it done. Once we do get it done, man, I'm going to feel so freaking powerful. Like, because it's
going to be a great camp. I mean, you got a lot of
amazing,
great talent, a lot of
Lindsay
interesting.
McCatherine, Kyle Chambers.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be an experience, and like, barring some kind of natural disaster that we can't foresee or whatever, like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a beautiful spot. And the jiu-jitsu is going to be great. Most of the people that are coming are going to be great that I know. Everybody I know that's coming is going to be really, really cool and fun. I already know them. Like I said, there's, so yeah, I'm excited for that. And so thank you again to like our sponsors on that. Musgrove Trial Firm again, like they do everything. They're helping us out. I know 678-226-1994. Mandy's telling me we got to go. We got to pick kids up. That's why she can't come normally, because she's always too busy helping do other things. Like I said, she's doing stuff. Got Foxhound Fuel sent us some stuff. Thanks. She gave me a note right here. Foxhound Fuel sent us like a big care package of like their products, which we're going to be excited to try. And I'll be putting out some more information about
all the campers get
what I think.
samples.
Yeah, we'll be able to hopefully have some of that down there at the camp for everyone, depending on like taking boxes of stuff with us and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll give out as much of that as we can to everybody. Shouts out to Supernatural Survival Gear and Dogfight Dojo. They're giving us like an exclusive rash guard to the people who are coming to the camp.
Cool.
You won't get that anywhere else. It's not going to be for sale. There won't be one that you can buy. It's only going to be for the people who are at the camp. So thank you for that to them. Who else do we have?
Kajabi.
Yeah, check out my Kajabi, man. Like, we're putting classes on there a lot. We're putting a lot of classes on there. I've got like a coaching mastermind group that I'm running. Man, that thing's pretty cool too, actually. I got a couple guys in there that I've already started working with. We'll probably be looking to add a couple more people in there once I like get my rhythm a little bit more set and I know what I'm doing better. But with the class archive, we've got classes going up weekly, almost daily sometimes. And you can get it for $20 a month. I really appreciate anybody that wants to throw some support down that way. Anybody that says like, hey man, how can I get some more information? I mean, you get to see me in my classroom. It's a little bit clipped, so you don't see an hour-long video. So Isaac does some editing for you. But you get to see me in my natural habitat. You know what I mean? So instead of going to the zoo,
jokes included, you get all the jokes.
All the jokes.
Instead of going to the zoo where you see the polar bear just like laying around or whatever, sad or whatever, you get to see me in my natural habitat, man, where I'm feeling good most of the time.
Out on your little ice cap.
Yeah, sometimes I don't feel good though.
Drinking Coca-Cola.
And I bet some of the classes are kind of whack. I bet some of you are going to watch the class. Oh man, that was kind of whack. But that's all right, because I'm human and some of the classes are whack. But if you look at the deep classes that we have, you're going to get more than $20 worth literally every time you click into there. So it's the dreamnogi.mykajabi.com. I would appreciate literally anybody's support there. I love you. That's how I feed my family, man. I don't do anything but jiu-jitsu stuff to help feed my family. So Mandy and the kids, they need it. Look at this. Look at Mandy's face. Look at her face. She needs it. Like y'all look at her.
Don't do it.
Like what?
Don't look at my face.
Oh.
Please support, but don't look at my face.
Jeez, you need some reps. All right. Anyways, thanks to Isaac. Turnkey Connections is actually helping us out with a lot of stuff. They're doing a lot of the copy work for us, using their stuff right there, helping us get everything figured out with that. Parkway Automotive Studios and
Peach Podcast
Syndicate. And one more time, 678-226-1994.
Call you, buddy.
That's him. All right. Much love. Peace.
Took me a little bit longer on this one. A little more lyrical, you know what I'm saying? The beat thumps too. So, all right. Yo, my introduction is this. I ain't got no fucking money, so production is shit. Yeah. Think I'm joking? Come and see how I live with my garage band flow and them shitty Apple hits.